Welcome. Today, we're flipping the script. For too long, society has clung to an outdated story. The story that says when you hit your 60s, life slows down. That this is when you're supposed to shrink, fade quietly into the background, step carefully toward some quiet conclusion. That's the script they handed you. But you didn't come this far just to coast to the credits. Here's the truth. Your 60s are not the ending. They're the plot twist. The thrilling, unexpected pivot. The point in the story when everything shifts, when you, the protagonist, decide to take the wheel. They're the chapter where you stop living by anyone else's playbook and start writing your own. Where the edges blur, the possibilities stretch out wide, and life opens in ways you never imagined. And today, I'm here to walk you through 12 powerful reasons why your 60s are the most liberating, dynamic, and exciting years of your life. Because the story isn't over. In fact, it's just getting interesting. Let's dive in. 1. You finally know what you want. Think back to your younger years. How much of your time and energy was spent wondering if you were making the right decisions? Did you constantly weigh other people's opinions, bend to fit expectations, strive to tick the boxes you were told mattered? Maybe you twisted yourself to be agreeable. Maybe you said yes when you wanted to scream no. Maybe you chased dreams that weren't truly yours. But somewhere along the winding road of decades, something shifted. In your 60s, the noise quiets. You've been through enough joy, grief, love, loss, trial, and error to know exactly who you are and what matters most to you. You stop second guessing. You stop apologizing for wanting more or less. It's a hard earned clarity. It's fierce. It's liberating. And it's yours. Grab a notebook. Write down 3 things that light you up, things you want more of, unapologetically, in this next chapter. Then write 3 things you're absolutely done tolerating. Feel the weight lift as you make space for what you truly want. 2. You've stopped playing by everyone else's rules. Think about the invisible rule book you were handed as a young person. Go to school, find a partner, buy a house, settle into a career, raise a family, retire quietly. For years, maybe you followed those rules dutifully, believing that safety and success lay at the end. But now, with the wisdom of lived experience, you see something clearly. Those rules were never written for you. Most of them were created by people who didn't know your heart, your dreams, your wildness. And now, in your 60s, you're free to toss them aside. Maybe you want to start over, move to a new city, pursue a dream others might call impractical. Wear what feels good, speak your truth boldly, laugh too loudly, say no without guilt. You don't need permission anymore. What's one outdated rule you've been following that no longer serves you? What might it feel like to drop it today? Even one small act of rebellion can crack open a door you didn't realize was locked. 3. You have experienced that money can't buy. In a world obsessed with shortcuts and instant gratification, there's something rare and invaluable about what you carry: lived experience. You've navigated heartbreaks, career pivots, personal reinventions, losses, victories, quiet mornings, sleepless nights. You've walked through storms others haven't yet seen and come out standing. No crash course, no degree, no quick fix can substitute for the depth of wisdom you've earned. You don't flinch at obstacles the way you once might have. You don't panic at temporary discomfort. You've developed discernment, patience, resilience, the kind that only years of living can teach. Think of one experience that shaped who you are, a story uniquely yours. How might you share it? Could you tell it to someone younger, write it down, or simply reflect on how far you've come? There's untapped power in your story. Someone out there might need it more than you know. 4. The world is more open to change than ever. Once upon a time, the world told people in their 60s to step aside, to retreat quietly, to make space for the next generation, to accept that their boldest days were behind them. But look around. Today, 60 somethings are starting businesses, learning new languages, running marathons, becoming activists, creators, innovators, travelers. Technology connects us to opportunities we never dreamed of. The world is more fluid, flexible, and open than ever before. There is no expiration date on reinvention, no ceiling on possibility. If age, expectations, and limitations vanished, what would you try today? A creative project? A new skill? A cause close to your heart? Write it down. Take the first step. What if the world's waiting for you to show up exactly as you are? 5. Your priorities have shifted, and that's a good thing. Remember when life felt like a never ending to do list? Climbing ladders, building wealth, proving yourself, keeping up appearances. But something extraordinary happens in your 60s. The clutter falls away. You realize what truly matters isn't the endless striving, it's presence, peace, connection, purpose. You stop caring who's watching. You stop racing towards some distant finish line. Suddenly, joy becomes simpler. The sound of birds outside your window, an honest conversation, the freedom to spend a morning without checking your phone. Write down your top 3 priorities today. Then ask yourself, does your schedule reflect them? If not, what tiny adjustment could you make this week to align your energy with what matters most? 6. You're healthier than you think. Here's a myth that needs to go: that turning 60 means inevitable decline, fragility, fading energy. In truth, many people feel stronger, sharper, and more intentional in their 60s than they did decades ago. Modern medicine, nutrition, fitness, and mental health tools are rewriting the possibilities. But it's more than physical health. It's knowing how to listen to your body, how to rest when needed, how to nourish yourself, mind, body, and spirit. You understand that health isn't about chasing youth. It's about cultivating vitality, strength, flexibility, and joy. What's one gentle, supportive habit you can add to your routine today? A walk, a glass of water, a phone call that lifts your spirit, a breath of fresh air. Small, loving actions accumulate. You are worth the care. 7. There's more time for you. Think back. How many years were spent taking care of everyone else? Children, parents, partners, colleagues, community. Your time wasn't fully your own. Your dreams often put on pause, waiting for someday. But here's the shift. Your 60s offer breathing room. For the first time in decades, you can prioritize yourself without guilt. That book you wanted to write, that garden you dreamed of planting, that city you longed to visit. You can dust off forgotten passions and say, now, not later. What's something you've always wanted to try but never carved out the time for? Block off an hour this week. Protect it. You've earned this sacred space. 8. You can build new relationships that actually nourish you. Another myth society likes to sell, that friendship, romance, or meaningful connection is only for the young. But you know better. In your 60s, you've outgrown shallow relationships. You know how to recognize authenticity when you see it. You can choose to surround yourself with people who uplift, challenge, and support you without drama, competition, or pretense. You're not afraid to let go of connections that drain you, and you're brave enough to open your heart to new ones. Think of one person, whether old friend or new acquaintance, who leaves you feeling energized. Reach out today. Send a message. Share a laugh. Make a plan. The beauty of this stage? There's still time to love, connect, and deepen relationships more nourishing than you ever imagined. 9. You've become resilient without even realizing it. Life has tested you, and every time you've been adapted, grown stronger. Maybe there were years you thought you wouldn't survive the losses, the upheavals, the transitions. But here you are. You've built resilience muscle without even noticing it. That quiet, steady strength that tells you, no matter what comes, I'll find a way. You no longer fear change. You've walked through enough to know it's part of the dance. Think of one moment in your past where you thought, I'll never get through this. And yet, you did. Write it down. Reflect on how it shaped you. Remind yourself, you are far more resilient than you realize. 10. You can reinvent yourself at any moment. Forget the notion that life's big shifts are reserved for the young. At 60, the canvas is still blank. You can pick up a new brush anytime. Start a new career. Move across the country or across the world. Change how you dress, what you believe, how you spend your mornings. Your identity isn't fixed. It's fluid, evolving, expansive. And here's the magic. You've got the confidence, clarity, and freedom now that you didn't have before. What's one area of your life you'd love to reinvent? Write it down. Then brainstorm one tiny action to start moving in that direction today. 11. Your story isn't over. You're the one holding the pen. The narrative society spins says your 60s mark the final act. But that's not your truth. You're the author. The chapters are still unfolding. Every day is another chance to surprise yourself. Want to travel the world? Learn the guitar? Fall in love again? Start a business? Live more quietly, more peacefully? You decide. Take out a notebook or your phone. Write one sentence beginning. The next chapter of my life will be about. Now, what's one step you can take to make it real? 12. Legacy starts now, not later. We often talk about legacy as something left behind. But legacy is not just in what people say after you're gone. It's in how you live today. Every act of kindness, every boundary you uphold, every conversation where you speak truth, offer wisdom, show love. Your legacy is shaped in every small, intentional choice. Ask yourself, what kind of legacy do I want to create right now? What values, actions, or contributions reflect the person I want to be remembered as? Write it down. Then start living it. So, next time someone tries to tell you that your 60s are the final chapter, smile gently, shake your head, because this is the twist no one saw coming. The moment you step fully into yourself and rewrite the story. Your story isn't winding down, it's roaring to life. And who knows? The best chapter might just be the one you're about to write. Now, who in your life needs to hear this today? Send it to them. Let's flip the narrative together.